Hello, my name is David Webb and this is the 100th video for Dweebovision. To mark the occasion, my opponent tonight is Brett Smitheram, a fellow Scrabble grandmaster, winner of numerous tournaments and one of the best players in the world. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first, and I have a pretty good rack. I have unravels through the V of Vig. I have granules through the G. Do I have anything through the I? Lunaries. And is there an anagram of lunaries? Well, if there is, it doesn't begin or end with an I, so I think unravels is going to be best. And this isn't bad. I have position through the S of unravels. It's not a particularly promising rack, but it does make a bingo with an S. I'm wondering if it makes any other bingos. I have option as a 6, but then it's option plus an I, so I can't see a bingo using that. The L and the R are the other two good floaters. Okay, but I can't see anything through those, so position would be fabulous because it would hit 2 double word squares. But if that is taken out, and I wonder if I have a play from H1 which places the P at H4 on the double letter square. I certainly want to resolve my duplicates. I'm looking to play off an I and an O. So I don't have such a play at H1. If position is blocked, well, it's possible I could place topoi at H11, depending on how position is blocked. Great, position is available. This is a very fortunate start for me. And my run of bingos has certainly come to an end, but this isn't bad. I have QAD, so through an I have caddy and cade. And I can play cade at F2 down with the Q on the triple letter square. And I've also got cade through the second I of position, but for a much lower score. If I had an I on my rack, I could play chi and chi at J10 for a 60 plus score. I have the Z as a major scoring tile as well, but playing off the Q is a higher priority. If there was a 60 or 70 point play for the Z, I would probably play it, but I can't see such a one. Zadig is good. I think ZADDIQ. I think that's good. But in column 2 that doesn't place the Z or the Q on the triple letter square, and it doesn't play through the second I of position. If I had an R, I would have Izard at H11 across, which would score 70 or 80 points. There aren't actually any fabulous spots for the Z on this board. Great, cade is available. My opponent's Brett's play of Kef doesn't open anything up for my Q or my Z. Cade is nice, it sorts out my duplicate D and it scores well and it burns the Q. And this is a balanced rack. I don't have a bingo, but I do have the Z, and the O goes well with the Z. So I could play Zo at C13 down, 28 points. Is there something better? I've got the Zoom at K10 down, which is worth considering because I've got the S. So row O would be open to a word ending in an S. I think that would be 34 points. Well, that's worth considering. A rack leave of DRS is pretty good. Now, what else is available for my Z? DZO is available, so I could play that at B13 down. 32 points, and the rack leave of MORS is quite nice. And DZO also plays at J10 down. 37 points, that's worth thinking about. Yeah, I like that. I think playing Zoom is a little too open. There are still 2 blanks and 2 S's unseen. My opponent could well have that, and I wouldn't like to gift really high-scoring triple word play if I don't have to. I'm currently 117 points ahead of Brett, but it's Brett on turn. Just looking to see if I can use my S on this go to score well in conjunction with my Z. So I could play Zooms at L8 across, 48 points, but then that provides an easy opportunity for my opponent, for Brett to score in column 8 for a play beginning with Z. Okay, my opponent Brett has taken out the spot where I was considering playing DZO. So do I play that word up here? Let's just see what this looks like. 32 points. Yeah, I think that's okay. This rack feels like it might have more points in it. And I'm thinking in particular about the Zunes play. 48 points. I'm sacrificing 16 points, which is a big sacrifice. 8 of those are swallowed up by the S. So by playing the lower scoring move, I am applying a value of 8 points on the rack leave and the defensive value of not placing the Z at L8 and providing an easy scoring move for my opponent onto the triple word square at O8. Yeah, well, I think if this isn't as good as Zunes, it's not far off. Great, I draw the first blank, and this looks promising. Do I have a bingo? If I do, it will almost certainly play because there are several spots where my S can go. I'm mentally running through the alphabet for the blank in contemplation of a 7-letter bingo. I'm up to F and I haven't seen anything. Right, this is interesting. Brett gets 75 for terrors, but he opens up row O and column 15, which is a good move by him because he is behind, so he wants to keep the board as open as possible to facilitate a comeback. Now, what I need to do is to find a bingo and then find the best bingo. And certainly the best bingo would be a 9-timer through the S of terrors. But I think that's going to be tricky. I'm going to finish going through the alphabet. So I was up to G and hadn't seen anything. Gosh. I'm thinking unmoors. Think unmoors is good. Not sure if it has an anagram. It certainly plays on this board. It plays at I7 down. It plays in row M. Unmoors. I don't think that has an anagram. I'm wondering about unrooms. I don't think it's unrooms. I think it's just unmoors. Okay, so that's with the blank as an N. Let me finish going through the alphabet. I'm up to U and I haven't seen anything. Okay, so as a 7-letter word, I've only seen unmoors. That doesn't play in column 15. Do I have an 8? And if I don't have a 9-timer, certainly an 8 in row O, ending on the S of terrors, would be fine. It would take out the most dangerous comeback spot for Brett. Sunroom. Yeah, sunroom. That's the anagram of unmoors. Unmoors and sunroom. And sunroom is pluralizable. Great. Let's see what this scores. That's 77 points. Yeah, I don't think there is a better place on the board for a bingo, and I don't think I can score more than this in this spot. Wow. I'm drawing well tonight. I don't think I have a bingo, but this is a very balanced rack and I've got a high scoring tile in the X. I'm looking around to see if there are any good spots for the X. And by a good spot I mean a premium square next to a vowel. Toxin is good as a longer word. Now I note that UT is available in column 4, so with an O I have the out prefix, but out index isn't good, and it would also leave a T on my rack, so I don't have a 9-letter play through UT. I think toxine is good, and that plays in column 15. That's going to score reasonably well. 44 points, and it takes out a hot spot for my opponent. The board is really open. There's the R of unravels, there's the column M onto position, and there's column N overlapping with sunroom, as well as the D in column B and column 15, and plus row A beginning with the D of dipped, so there are plenty of opportunities on this board. I have a 139 point lead, but that's not far enough ahead to be sure of victory, especially with 39 tiles still in the bag. And they're a fairly bingo-y bunch. Brett takes out where I was going to play Toxine. So, what to do? It would be nice to have a play with the X on a premium square and then the word hitting another premium square. For example, row L, it would be good to have the X at L8 on the double letter square and to go through the Nth position. But I can't see a move which plays in that spot. Brett has not provided any good places for my X. Now a play of Toxin in row 5, only 24 points. I must be able to do better than that. If I played something like Nox at N6, only 23 points, but the rack leave of Tide is pretty good. But it's not a great leave and it's not a great score. I'm wondering if I have anything down from the P of dipped. Well, not that I can see, and I'm wondering if I can place my X at N6 on the triple word square. Well, I could play Oxen in that spot, and that's good because it takes out rows M and N as bingo lanes or obstructs them, and to a smaller extent it obstructs column 6 as well. Now Toxin also plays in that spot. Actually, well, let's see what this looks like. £31 points. Now the advantage of playing Toxin, this looks like it's opening up the triple word square at 01 to make it more readily available for my opponent, but what it does do is prevent him from putting a high scoring tile on the double letter square at 04. So if Brett does take this spot, he's unlikely to score massively with it. And playing off one more tile expedites the end of the game for me. I'm retaining the E. Although there are a lot of E's unseen, it's always good to have one on your rack. It's a very bingo-y tile. And 32 points is pretty good. Great. I didn't draw another E, so despite all of the ones in the bag, the one I retained is really helpful. Through an S I would have unstayed, and Brett has, well, very unfortunately for him, provided precisely that letter. I have unstayed and unsteady. I'm just checking that it does fit, and it does. Slow tree is a nice spot. There go 3 of the E's. Do I have any bingos through other floaters? There's quite a few to consider. This is quite a nice play because, well, unsteady's better than unstayed, scores slightly more. It's nice because it opens up row A, and what's good about that is row A is not a bingo lane. It opens up scoring opportunities for short words at A1 and A8, and with the opportunities at O1 for short words as well, and also column 14 parallel to ZO. What it means is that I should be able to maintain my lead by scoring well. Brett really needs to bingo to come back. But there are diminishing bingo lanes on this board, and even if he does bingo, provided the board is open, I ought to be able to keep scoring. Let's see. Well, very interesting rack. I've only got one vowel, but I've got 4 high-scoring tiles. And I think this rack illustrates the point I was making about having an open board, because I could play hash at A1 for a big score. Nearly 50 points. I'm looking for a second good score. I can't see anything coming down from A8, although I've got Hey, H-E-H. 27 points, that's not bad. It does take an S, but that's only scores 6 more points. I note, however, that the S I have is the last S available. Both blanks have gone, all 3 S's have gone. I'm wondering how that impacts my valuation of the S. I think with a big lead and not too many great spots for the S, maybe I should play it for 6 points. I need to think about that. It will get played anyway with well, let me retract that. Hash doesn't play at A1. HU is not good. Okay, and the A8 spot has been taken. Hadge is good as a short word. Does that play? I've got jam at M13 down for over 40 points, which is a great score. Ah, well, I've got Hadge down here. Let's see what this scores. 37 points, that's a big score. And it keeps the board open. It keeps the A1 to A4 line open. It keeps the O1 to O4 line open. So hopefully I can keep on scoring. And I'm also opening up another great scoring spot at L1 across. And I've got scoring tiles in the H and the V. Provided I can draw 1 or 2 vowels, I ought to be able to keep scoring. There may be a better spot for the J. Let me just briefly pause. One spot I hadn't really thought through was A4 down. Now if I could place the J at A4 down, then there might be a big score, but I'm not sure it's going to score a great deal more than Hadge, and I like keeping the board open. Great, I draw 3 vowels. That couldn't have been any better. So I've got high vein at A1, 27 points. It's not a huge score, but it's certainly enough to keep things ticking over, especially when you're 100 points ahead. The worst thing is to be 100 points ahead and struggle to score more than about 15 points, especially on a board like this, which still does have some bingo potential. Now, Brett scored well with Wiley, 51 points, so he's less than 100 points behind. There is the bingo lane beginning at H1, which is the most dangerous. Certainly a play from L1 across would close that out. And I could play highs, H-I-E-S. Let's see what that scores. That's 33. The other move which stands out is hive down here. I think this is going to be a lot better. Yeah, 37 points. It scores more, keeps a better rack lead, keeps the S, takes out column 1, bingo lane through the D, and it leaves exactly 1 tile in the bag. So I think this is fine. I have incense as a 7. Don't think that plays. I'm wondering if I have a bingo through the O of slow tree. Well, Brett's taken that out. There is also the O, the second O of position, which is available for a bingo. Okay, I can't see anything through that. I can see the tiles that Brett's got on his rack, an E and a U. So I'm assuming now that I do not have a bingo. Just making sure there aren't any floaters I've overlooked. Slow tree and K do take an S, but I don't have 2 S's. I can't play through the N of position without also playing through the R of terrors. Okay, so I briefly need to check that my opponent has got 2 outs. He can play Emu at C1 down, and he can play Jew at B13 across, so he's certainly going out. So I'm really looking to score well. I'm looking at L1 across. Nothing goes in front of Joe, so I'm looking for a 4-letter word. I could play ices. I could play C's at in that spot. That's likely to be the highest scoring play. 31 points. If Brett didn't go out, and I'm sure he will, I've got 9 at L9 across. I'm just looking to see if I have a second out. Well, I don't think it's going to matter. I fully expect Brett to go out. There may have been a better move than C's. I think when you have a really big lead, sometimes it's difficult to really focus on squeezing every last drop out of the game. I think in a tournament situation where your spread matters, that's different. I can spend this time seeing if I've got a second spot. Okay, I don't have 9, do I? I just have in. So at the moment I don't have anywhere to go out. Yeah, I have 9 at D9 down. I can't see anywhere else to go out. In is the only 3-letter word on my rack, but I can't see anywhere where that plays. I've got Zin at C13, but that only uses 2 of my tiles. Yeah, Brett goes out, so pass to end the game. Well, I certainly had the better of the tiles in that game. Let's see what I missed. So it was Brett to go first, and he had the blank, but the rest of his rack was poor. Now I had Unravel's Granules and Lunaries. I considered all of them, and Unravel's certainly the best. Brett's rack did not improve. Position was the only bingo. Let's just see what Brett had here. He did not have a bingo. Yeah, Kef is fine. And Cade looks like it was best. Wow, this looks like it's close to a bingo, but there wasn't a bingo there. And zooms at F14. Zooms and bells. Okay, well 47 points is a lot, so I sacrificed 15 to play Zo. 8 of those will be accounted for by the S. And zooms is certainly open in that it opens up row 15, so it's difficult to know how inferior this move was to zooms, if indeed it was at all. Now at this point Brett did have a bingo, and Terrors was fine. Let's see what I had here. Dormouse. Didn't consider that. That's playable at H1, down from the D of dipped. And then Sombrous and Sunrooms were the bingos, and Eurosomes the bingos playable in row O, and Eurosomes was best because it put the M on the double letter square, so my move's slightly inferior to the best. Great. I didn't think that I found anything like the best move here, but Toxin looks like it was close to being best. Slow Tree, great spot by Brett. Very fortunate to have Unsteady and Unstayed. I also had Autodyne at D3, which I didn't spot going through the O of Slow Tree. Ooh. Brett had a pretty grim rack here, 2 W's and 2 I's. And Jam at M13. Well, I considered that and didn't play it, but look at the rack leave, 2 H's, an N, an S, and a V. Great tiles at the end of the game, but you really need vowels to have value out of them, and drawing only 2 vowels runs the risk of having 7 consonants, which is no good at all. So, in fact, my play of Hadge for 37 for a sacrifice of 7 points is a lot better. And Hive looks like it was best. And, well, Brett did not have good tiles in this game. This is pretty awful. And here C's, yeah, that looks fine. And Rue was the best outplay. So, a convincing win, but really I was extremely fortunate in the tiles that I drew. I'm very grateful for Brett for agreeing to play this game. I normally just go on to the Internet Scrabble Club and send out a seek message to all the highest rated players who are on the site at the time of recording, but I wanted to play against a known good player tonight to mark the 100th video. So thanks to Brett for stepping in and agreeing to perform that role. And please let me know if you particularly enjoy watching videos featuring other good players, and I will put out more of these videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that it has help to improve your game. And thank you for watching. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.